Anyway,
And I bet somebody's gonna listen to this podcast out of context and be like, Afam and some.
Yeah.
Some of
they're
them
definitely for. Oh, these guys are definitely for the new. And it's just like it's fine. We are. Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right.
And somebody's gonna clip that.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
be like, yeah, look at them
Exactly.
proudly.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. We are everything you say we are, and more actually. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the 30% podcast. This is a podcast about the music industry, where we talk about the serious and the light-hearted things. It is from the perspective of two producers, I being one of them. Hi, my name is Sam. Nice to meet you. And my co-host, the one. He let me introduce you, sir. Let me give you your flowers. The one, the only, the legendary. Are you legendary? Do you think you're legendary?
No, not yet.
Okay, not yet. So the almost legendary, the one day, hopefully, one day legendary Afam Ifuna. Afam.
Yo, what's up?
What's going on? Sorry, I know it's really weird hearing my voice at the beginning of this thing. You look so lost.
No. It's cool, bro. Yo, tell the people where we can find this podcast.
You tell the people where we can find the podcast.
Oh, well, you guys can find this podcast on YouTube. You can listen to it on Google Plays. You can listen to it on Spotify.
Yes, please.
You can also listen to it on Anchor Music. And you can find us on the 30% pod on all the social media. So that's
platforms.
LinkedIn. Why did I start with LinkedIn? Well, it's LinkedIn, it's Instagram, it's Twitter or X, and also which others? TikTok and
Which other platforms are there?
I think I've listed all of them in history. Anyway, it's the 30% pod on all of those.
Yes.
Sam. Leo
Oh
nakwamanaye. Leo if you find something you love, we kwamanaye.
And he comes
Leo
alive.
nakwamanaye. Leo
alive.
nakwamanaye. Bro, just find the feeling.
I didn't think you'd be rocking to that album.
If you find something to do.
I really didn't think you'd be rocking to that album that much, Afam. Afam, you're a chameleon. You're
That's
changing.
my favorite song.
You're changing.
Hey, Leo, bro. Honestly, low-key, I'm singing better than BN. Leo nakwamanaye. BN, if you're listening to this, bro, I'm bodying you right now.
You can't say that with a clear conscience.
Your own song.
You can't say
I'm
that with
bodying BN on his own song. Are you hearing the vocals,
No, you're
man?
not.
Just find the beat. Okay, I'm done.
Not at all.
Yeah, bro, I'm good, man.
Afam's
Just chilling.
Celebrating Alusa Why You Topless that came out over the weekend. So
yeah, did we find out why he was topless?
He actually didn't explain why he was topless.
Yeah.
We don't know why he's
I
topless.
assume that was his mom in one of those interlude type of things, yeah?
Maybe
And
his
she
mom, maybe
referred
his
to him
grandmother,
as
an
Alusa.
auntie, maybe. We don't know.
Okay. I assumed it was the mom, but you're right. I don't know why he's
An
topless.
older female.
No, it's his relative. Yeah, I don't know, but like it was dope. So I listened to that this week. This week was very miserable in terms of the weather.
Oh damn.
Very bipolar weather. Just raining, sun, cold, raining, sun. It was like so unpredictable. But yeah, other than that, I'm doing okay. Made a lot of music, really locked in and produced a lot of stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, how about yourself, man? How's your week?
Nice. It's pretty much the same. I was in creating, making some music. I've been on an Afrobeat.
Hey.
An Afrobeat
Oh yeah.
wave recently. So
Nice.
I've been doing that, and I'm actually I've I've been in this weird position where as I'm making the beat and everything happens at the end, I'm just like, ugh, I don't like it, and then I turn it off. Then my process is, what I usually do is I'll make the beat and then I leave it, and then I come listen to it and do a vibe check the next day. And when I come back the next day, I'm like, okay, it didn't sound like anything back then. So yeah, so that's been cool.
What kind of Afrobeat are we talking?
Oh man. Oh, I've done a lot. I've done the typical just West African Afrobeat, but then I've made Amapiano, one of my first Amapiano joints, and I'm actually planning on I'm thinking of what vocalist to put on it, and then I'm probably going to release that sometime next year.
Okay.
And then I've made a what do you call it? A mix between Afrobeat and the Afrobeat Amapiano, the Rema and all that business.
What's the
It's new Amapiano, whatever it is, future Amapiano. So yeah, so I've just been doing that.
Nigerian Amapiano.
Yeah, I've snuck a couple of hip hop beats in there. It's been good. It's been productive. Linking up with artists.
Piano.
Naira Piano. I don't know, dog.
Niger Piano.
Let's continue thinking about that one. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll take that to the board. So yeah, it's been really cool. I think I'm really honestly just focused on finding artists right now, finding artists to work with, and going down that route, because I have goals. Okay. I have goals, and they need to be realized. Yeah, so that's it. And then listening to music.
Let's go.
Listening to music.
Yeah, man. Listening to music. I guess we can't fight the feeling. We can't fight it anymore. We have to talk about this.
You remind me of a friend of mine who has a song. She had a song for everything. Everything in her brain. She had a song. Just say whatever sentence to her, and she busts out in song.
She busts out in song. That's not me. Because I be forgetting lyrics. But we can't fight it anymore, man. Because Leo nakwamanaye, Leo nakwamanaye. Okay, sorry, I'm done. Guys, I'm so sorry, man. I'm sorry. I know it must be annoying for you guys. Okay, anyway. We can't fight it anymore. We have to talk about this because it's what the streets have been talking about, Sam. The streets have been ablaze. And we obviously
on this podcast keep our ears to the streets.
Down on the ground. You know what I mean? I can literally hear the seismic activity. I can hear the lava. Man. I can hear the magma. Is that what it's called? No, lava is when it's outside. So I can hear the magma and the tectonic shifts.
To make everything uncool, don't you? And you do your best to nerd everything out. Hear this.
Wow. So essentially you're saying I shouldn't be myself on this platform.
Yes.
You heard it here first, man. Sam wants me to suppress my being. Anyway, we can't dance around this any longer.
Yeah.
So we have to have this conversation because a lot of people put their think pieces. They really were on Twitter talking about Spotify colors, man.
Yeah.
And it's a very nuanced conversation, which I would like to start by saying I am very happy, at least, that we have Kenyan music on an international platform. I think that's where we have to start. We have to start by acknowledging that this is a good step for Kenyan music. You know what I mean? Putting us on to the international audience, it's dope because they will listen to that and they're like, oh, this stuff, this motion happening in Kenyan music. You know what I mean? And that's good. That's dope. I feel like we need to be happy about that. That's for me personally. That's where that's where I start. I start with gratitude that this is even happening. Yeah, but yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, just to add on that, I think I would make the distinction of to have Kenya on a post internet era platform. I'm sure we've been on them before, but then I feel like this is one of the ones where now the things are buzzing and YouTube and TikTok and all that business, and I've not been my ears have not been
tapped in,
really, really tuned in. But then it's one of the first times we're seeing something like this happen. So it's obvious. Of course, Kenyan music has been on international stages.
And on a consistent basis, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's not just they put on one artist, two artists, three artists, six.
We're
and then
six
there's going
to
be the seventh.
Yeah, and number seven has been teased.
They've announced, essentially they've announced Zoe. We can see it's going to be Zoe. So, I'm sure at the time of listening to this podcast, it'll be out.
It'll be out.
It wouldn't be like new information. So yeah, I think that's where we start. But we have to acknowledge what's been going on the social medias because there've been a lot of like different takes about this whole situation. And I think it's interesting. I think it would be also detrimental to not take these takes into consideration. Don't you agree?
Yes, I agree. Because
the
industry is represented by both the people who create the art and the people who, what do you call it? Consume the art, right? And so if we only focus on one side of it, we neglect the fans, and the fans are really what drive music. They're the ones who create revenue. They're the ones who do all these things. So whenever the fans speak about it, even if you might not agree, it's good to at least look at it. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, just look at it sometimes and try and see if there's validity in anything that's being spoken. If there is, great. If there's not, do with the information what you will. So, yeah.
So I'll read one person's opinion. So this is by Jody Fanetto, he's actually a dope drill artist. I've actually had the pleasure of being in studio with him. And he says, Kala Studio Kenya acheni click shit. It's too obvious now. So that's all he said.
Yeah.
And then everybody in the comments was kind of, a lot of people were actually against it because those people were saying talent sells. Somebody else said right ? Because I guess they agree with Jody.
Yeah.
Somebody was like, I think Washama Liza recording the Spotify special in Kenya, so kind of intimating that they feel like some artists might have been left out. Yeah. Somebody asks, who are some of the artists you'd want featured on the show next time? Which I feel like is a good approach. Instead of trying to pull down, it's like, let's have like a more...
let's have a conversation about it.
About actually building it up.
Yeah.
Somebody else said, walieka the right people. If that's the click, sioni shida. Shida ni kama kina embarambara. We're going to embarrass us there. Oh, that's a funny click. Not click. That's a funny take. But okay, so there was also Xtatic. Xtatic was also very loudspoken on this. Is that a word? Loudspoken.
Outspoken.
Oh, outspoken.
Oh loudspeaker.
English.
Xtatic was very loudspeaker.
Okay, so she says, wild how when colors ain't have Kenyans in it, we all suggested that they maybe should, and this is on X.
Yeah.
So she says,
X on Xtatic?
Other countries,
that's good.
Yeah, X for Xtatic, yeah. Did other countries / artists who were on it feel like we were criticizing them? No. We were all speaking and suggesting to the platform and not saying that other artists were not deserving. And then she continues to say, so when speaking for myself, suggest that maybe next time include vernacular artists. How is it a criticism on the artists themselves, who I have been and continuously am supporting and celebrating? I am speaking to and of the platform, not criticizing the amazing artists on it. Charisma, an artist that we know, he released a song recently with Ben Soul. He says, you are not wrong in what you said, X. Don't even over-explain. Those who represented us deserved it bigly, and you made sure to say that. You just called for more diversity as a fan and an artist, and that's great. Also, to be fair, R&B is not just R&B if sung in English. I understand why Charisma would say that, because he's made a lot of songs that might be seen as R&B leaning, but just not in English. Steph, the rapper, also Stefan Rulli also said something, but she deleted her tweet. But she did, unfortunately, and I didn't save the original tweet, so she kind of posted like a screenshot of a response that she got. So the response was somebody DMs her and says, Steph, there is a lot of unwarranted and unjustified vitriol and negativity surrounding this campaign. R&B is finally getting some love. So many campaigns from Boiler Room to alcohol brands have been about hip-hop, drill, genge, and no one makes that moment about themselves or their specific genre. You can read the rest of that response there. They also continue to say, doesn't negate the effect that doesn't negate the fact that tweets like your follow-up are magnets for vitriol. You have a big platform, people looking for someone to blame or drag, etc, etc. And this isn't, I'm not reporting on this for you guys to go and hate on Steph for also showing her opinion. Last take I want to highlight is by Carlton Kitheka, who we talked about in another podcast, in a previous podcast. He says, the funniest thing about people getting mad about the Colors selection of artist performance is that Colors specifically said this is a collaboration with Spotify Africa showcasing Kenya's R&B scene. It's like some of you just like being angry. Okay, now, Sam.
But that's true though.
We kind of get the sentiment. Huh? It is true.
Some of us love
but
being
we have
angry.
to start the conversation at, and I guess this is kind of, it has to start at why R&B.
It has started at the goal of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Right. We can't start at our feelings. Why R&B? Now, it's obviously speculation. We were not in those meetings.
This is speculation part 2.
Yeah, we were not. Oh, I have to say this, but we were not CC'd in those emails. I hate CC.
But that's valid because there's just so much that we also don't know at the end of the day, right?
That's the thing. Yeah. That's the thing. So everything that we're doing now is going off what we think is or what we feel is. It's not necessarily what is. Now, if I'm looking at it in that way, so I'm looking, there's different ways you could check it, right? So in terms of Spotify, if Spotify is looking at Kenya's scene, so fine, they want to showcase Kenya. But they also want to showcase Kenya in a way that they feel, big disclaimer there, that caveat. They feel.
Yeah.
And it could also be not just feeling. It could be based off their research and
research data.
It could be based off a lot of things, data, right? But they're showcasing what they feel would perform, because they're not going to put something that's for sure not going to perform on their platform, right? So they're putting something up that they feel will perform well on the world stage, because what they're doing is they're coming to Kenya. Hey, you guys are dope. Let me take you guys and put you on screen, right? So that's the start, right? So maybe if R&B is their goal, automatically we can't say much about that. Our argument shifts because then it's like we can't say, why didn't you play hip hop? Why didn't you play drill? Why didn't you go to genge when they say that we are going to do R&B? So we start from there.
Yeah. I mean, so that's the thing. I haven't watched all of the Colors in history, so I don't know if
there's like 490 something of them. Actually, I checked. There's a whole
I don't know how their curation process is. I don't know. So a lot of people are frustrated that what they chose to showcase was R&B, which already pigeonholes the selection process of the artists that are gonna fly that flag for R&B from Kenya. You know what I mean? So some people are saying, well, why wasn't it Gengeton? Why wasn't it drill? Well, I just read somebody says other platforms have already been showcasing these other genres of music, and this is a first time for R&B music to be highlighted in the way that it's been right now. You know what I mean? So, like I said, I don't know. I'm just really, what I'm doing right now is just echoing what you've said, because ultimately they may have looked at it and said, this is the best way to introduce our audience, because they know, they would know, like Colors, they would know what their audience consumes or what their audience is gravitating to. And they might see that, I think they would really, really fuck with the R&B. So that's the one thing. We really don't know, based off of the meetings they had, the data that they're looking at, and just the curation process, why they chose R&B. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And just to step in. I think one of the reasons it's such a big issue is there seems to be a divide
Yes.
in terms of the industry, and we've sort of talked about this before in terms of the Kilimani rap and all that business. There seems to be like I think for a lot of people, because again now Nairobi, I mean R&B would probably mostly be consumed in Nairobi if we're not wrong. A majority.
Well, the kind of R&B that was showcased.
That's what. Sorry, yes, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like the whole,
Yeah.
it's almost like a new Nairobi sound. It's very
yes,
very local, right? And that
To Nairobi,
excludes a lot of people, even within Nairobi itself. It excludes a lot of people because there's.
I understand what you're saying.
People are on Afrobeat, people are on some Amapiano, people are on drill. There's like a lot. So when it's almost like different niches are fighting for space.
Yes.
And there's and now I don't know whether this is wrong, but when you say there's an entitlement, it makes it seem negative. There's almost like a feeling of, and we have talked about this, almost like a feeling of.
Let's okay, I get what you're saysaying.
Yes.
I feel like let's get into that like with the later discussions before we get into like after now we've because what am I trying to say? Because yes, I want to save your point because your point is very potent. But like we've established like okay, R&B is the we have no control over it being R&B.
Yeah,
you know what
we
I
have
mean?
no control over the choice. The choice is a choice.
So we've established that R&B is gonna be shown to the world on Spotify Colors. That's that, right?
Yep.
Now
Kenyan RNB.
Now we get into what you were saying. What do you think that there was a biased representation of the type of R&B coming out of Kenya?
If we were being honest, the sound that was sort of chosen can be very similar, right?
Okay.
In terms, it seems very similar. Just running through them. What we have, Lisa is more jazzy R&B, more more vocal. I want to say vocal-led music because she does a lot with her voice. And then you have Zinnia and you have Karun, who some would say that those two make very similar music. Some would say.
Some would say.
I don't know if you.
But no, they're very different when you pay real attention. But outside looking in, that's what.
Yes, I'm talking about a casual viewer, right? Because that's
sure.
So and then after that was
BN.
After that was BN. Now BN, so people of course are like, okay, now we're getting a little bit of a further representation. But even his sound was it's also very Afro R&B-ish, in the way it comes through.
Okay.
So that's good. Now there's some diversity in it. I think Lisa makes a little bit of her music was a little bit different from like a Zinnia, and Zinnia's was a little bit different from a BN, right?
Yeah.
And after that was who came out first?
After BN?
Yes, after BN.
I think it would have been Nyokabi Karaoke.
Right. Yeah. Okay, yes. And is she the last one, or is there someone after her?
No, and then Maya.
Okay, yeah. Okay, now, okay.
And then Maya Molo.
Yeah, so now adding Maya
and then
into
Zoe
the...
Kangocha now.
Yes, sorry. Adding Maya into the almost that same new Nairobi pool of R&B, which is like the Zinnia and the Karun, right? Some would say like that's also very similar. Nyokabi Karaoke's music is a little bit different because she does different things.
It's experimental.
It's more experimental, sort of. And then now Zoe, and we know Zoe is, again, it's that R&B sound. So in terms of diversity, we have 4 people potentially who some would say that is almost literally the same song, if you're being harsh. Right?
If you're being harsh.
But
then, like I said,
not my opinion. That's not what I'm saying.
If you really, but I know that's not what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, just to reiterate, if you really listen to these guys, you know that they're
there's a lot of difference.
But to the casual observer, they would
Yeah.
say, okay, you guys are feeding us the same thing, but that's not the case.
Yes. Yeah.
But we're also just kind of repping the casual observer's point of view. Carry on.
True. Yeah. So now, in terms of that, now, if you look at that, and I get where the outrage is, because you're like, okay, you've picked 4 people whose music might be similar, or 3, or whatever you want to, however you look at it, and there is just so much more, even maybe in terms of R&B,
Yeah.
Like maybe having more R&B. We talked. Charisma had mentioned like having more. I mean, Charisma had talked about it,
Like
but then
Charisma
yeah,
himself,
like
he could
more.
also be somebody to showcase.
Exactly.
Although you'd say his sound is more like the Soul Gen sound, but yeah, I get what you
yeah, and now even going, I was just funny you said that because I was actually thinking about that. Like some people would have liked to see maybe a Ben Soul on there or like an Viri on there.
Oh, okay.
Like just a difference and maybe even sticking.
A lot of people were saying Okelo Max.
Yes, yeah. He's the other one I was thinking about. Sticking to R&B ish, but then they also have a musical link to another genre, right? So it's almost like blending two genres together. Like we blend Afro and R&B in a very short way, like almost like Bien, like right? And maybe that then opens up the Colors audience to a different. Now they're going to be Bien Soul's catalog and they see all of this and they're like, okay, now there's different music, right? So I guess that's where the outrage is that why is the music? I mean, why is the people? Why are the even within the genre? Why are the people you've chosen? It doesn't feel diverse enough.
But here's the thing. Okay, I feel like this conversation it cuts across more than just music. It's a social, economic,
it definitely moves into
cultural conversation to have, because I've seen this conversation replicated in other forms of media, like even on Twitter. Like some people, there was a time people were talking about a Twitter A and Twitter B, like and Twitter A was supposedly, like Uptown, whatever, and Twitter B was that. Yeah, and then even back in the day, I mean, back to music, there was the whole New Nairobi scene, and people viewed that as being exclusive. There's just like there's always a discord, and then I mean, back to music again, there's the whole Kilimani rappers thing, and people feeling like it's exclusive or excluding like other artists and other people. And I can't discount that feeling, because I can see where people are coming from. I can see that, like, because ultimately not everybody, and I don't know how to say it, but like not everybody would primarily listen to the music of those four artists that we mentioned that are on Colors.
It would be considered a niche when you look at the whole of Kenya, the Kenyan industry as a whole, it would be considered niche.
It's niche. And a lot of people listen to other stuff. Like more people would be more prone to listen to like Ethan Muziki, Kinoti, Soul Gen guys, etc, Kina Okelo Max. You know what I mean? So I get like some people feeling like they are not represented. You know what I mean? And that sucks. It does. It sucks because it's a genuine observation, and you can't discount it. You really can't. You have to like actually listen to why are so many people saying this, and why are so many people feeling this way. You have to sit down and actually listen to what's being said. Now, that being said, I want to reiterate, there's also just so much that we don't know.
Exactly.
We don't know if Spotify have had sit downs and have said, listen, this is phase one. This is the first like introduction into Kenyan music, at least by the way of Colors. Maybe this is their introduction into it, and if that was the case, I think it's smart, because what do you give international audience? You give them something that they can relate to, like on a surface level, which is music that's highly English driven, whatever, because it's something that cuts
and
across.
Also carries, carries Western.
You can just understand it.
And
like you can really just understand it. Like even if you're in Germany or you're in Poland, like you listen to the song that Zinnia did and you'll get the message. You know what I mean? Maybe they thought that's the first way we can approach this, and then we can go into the more niche, like Kenyan music that's niche to Kenyan like culture and tradition. And then, once people are open to the idea of Kenyan music, we can now bombard them with real like Kenyan culture, Kiswahili songs, Sheng songs, even vernacular songs like Xtatic was saying. You know what I mean? So maybe that was but this is also speculation, but maybe that was the tactic. You know what I mean? So we can't start tearing them down without like allowing for maybe these are all things that have been accounted for. Maybe they've had meetings about this very thing that we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But again, that being said, we also have to just look at the surface level of things and have to acknowledge that some people feel left out, and you have to sit down and listen to why they feel left out.
Yeah.
And you have to and you have to like appreciate that their point of view is also a point of view to be considered. You know what I mean? For me personally, I want to be I'm happy that this is happening for Kenyan music. I am honestly, I'm genuinely happy.
If you're for the music industry, if you're for the I'm not going to prescribe morality for anyone, but if you're for the industry, this should be a good thing. Like it should be like at least we're getting eyes on some of these artists, you know, and that
exactly
and that does good for the industry, whether you see it or not. It has impact in many different ways. It has impact in the creation of music. It has impact in the connections and the relationships that those artists make. It has impact in the perception of the industry of Kenyan music as a whole. But that last point being the perception is people tend to elevate that and make it everything. And so now we're like, okay, but now people outside are only looking at Kenya as Kenyans making R&B, and there's this and this and that. That's it almost now I actually want to find out from you. Do you think all genres are entitled to representation in this aspect?
I mean, do I think all genres are entitled to representation?
Yes.
Yeah. Damn, that's a tough question. Yeah, why not? Because if like this whole thing has been branded as this is a big opportunity for Kenyan music to be on an international stage, then it would be nice to also showcase more than just a single fraction of Kenyan music. But at the same time, it's also impossible. It's impossible. It's physically impossible to showcase everything with limited resources, time, and like Colors isn't gonna be able to focus on Kenyan music for the rest of time. Like they're probably gonna move on to a different African country,
even as they're shooting
a different whatever.
Yeah, even as they're pushing the Kenyan music, they're also pushing like music from like North Africa and other places. So that's
So but I do understand. Like if I only made like Liboy, for example, you know what I mean? Like the music that she makes. It's fantastic. I would love to have seen a Liboy on Colors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I would understand her feeling, like a Liboy, for example, feeling that their music deserves to be on that platform. Maybe entitled is a strong word, but like...
I think it's the right word. I
don't know. It's a hard conversation to have because it's just like, also, it's difficult to do all these things with the limited resources. And also, another thing about this type of projects is I'm pretty sure the way it was pitched to Colors with Spotify and all that type of stuff was as a package. This is like, because that's, I know when you're doing pitches and stuff, people like things that are really neatly packaged and stuff. So
that's one, and they like volume.
Yeah, so let's give you like
2, 3, 4 of that, yes.
If it was really haphazard and it was just like, okay, we'll do a gangton, then we'll do a hip hop, then we'll do sharp, then we'll do R&B, then we'll do this. Like it's hard to even tell a story and pitch that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, so it's easier to kind of be like, okay, to start, even if you're just doing gangaton, like let's just do gangaton. Let's show you like the different niches within gangaton and the different artists within gangaton. But it's easy to tell a story that way when you're painting it by genre. So I kind of understand. So this is another thing that I wanted to bring up. It was a lose-lose situation. Oh, okay, it's a win-win situation and it's also a lose-lose situation for the people who curated this.
Both.
I know.
It's win-win, but it's also lose-lose.
Okay, no. Okay.
Okay, no, just continue. Sorry, I'm playing around.
It's not okay. I wouldn't say it's win-win. Okay, it's win in the sense that you're putting on Kenyan music,
Yeah.
you're putting on these artists, you're putting a ton of eyes to Kenyan music. But it's lose-lose in the sense that whatever Spotify decided to do, it would come under criticism.
That's honestly, and that's the takeaway.
As well.
That's the takeaway from this whole thing. Is
Yeah.
it doesn't matter what was picked. It will. People are going to express their opinions and how they
Either
feel
way,
about
yeah.
things, and we do that all the time. Whenever one president is picked, I mean, when one candidate is chosen over the rest, we all go and fight. Oh, why wasn't this other guy picked? Da, 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 da. Whenever a law is made, it happens everywhere. It happens in our daily lives. It happens on the social in the social square. It happens everywhere. So
because I'm realistically looking at it, let's say the team at Spotify was very different.
Yeah.
Right. And that team decided, let's curate Gengeton. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ultimately, the guys in other genres of music will still feel left out. Azinia, Akarun, Amaya would be like, damn, I deserve to be on that platform.
That's the entitlement
right?
I was talking about too.
Listen. No, but they do because they're talented.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? If I'm the person who was curating it, right, I would try my best to be super inclusive, but it's impossible for that because I am subjective to me. There's stuff that I think is really dope.
Yeah.
And even if I think it's like super, super, super inclusive, somebody somewhere will see my selections and see my curation as biased. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if I was picking, will I get in trouble for saying this? Okay, if I was picking,
we'll find out.
Okay, so I don't heavily listen. This is well documented and also kind of like contradictory because I've just come in singing a lot of BN music. But if it was me, the first name on my list wouldn't be BN. Because I fuck with more of like the underground, like putting on like the smaller artists. So I would probably go like a whole different route, right? And I might not put BN on the platform. At which point I would come under heavy criticism because people would be like, "How the hell would you leave out B?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I might include some names which other people have been saying need to have been represented on colors. So all I'm saying is, there's no way for you to absolutely satisfy everyone at the end of the day.
Absolutely
you know what
not.
I mean?
Yeah, I think, but on that, and I'm not trying to be harsh.
Yeah.
However, I do think now, again, it depends. This completely depends on who is the initiator of this project, right? So if it's a Spotify-led project, I would think that it might be more beneficial. Okay, thinking about that now, look, I think Spotify is trying to appease. Ultimately, they're trying to appease themselves. This might not necessarily be 100% about the Kenyan industry that we think it is. We down here looking at it and like, oh yes, we're seeing our names on the billboards, but then they have their agendas and their goals, right?
Wait, which might give some credence to the credence. Might give some
credence. Credence is a nice word.
I don't know if it's credence. Might give some pause to the guys who work at Spotify, because maybe even them, they're just kind of they're funnels to this wider idea, and they had to work with the directives that were given to them as well. So there's just so much you do. There's so much in it. There's so much we don't know. There's so much we don't know.
It's so much in it. And I mean, some people would say that Spotify maybe should be able to have a wider selection, even if it's not initiated from them, that they should be able to have a wider selection if they're trying to showcase Kenyan music. But then again, we go back to the whole thing. Is Spotify trying to do RNB, or are they trying to listen, be happy for the people who have been put on. That's number one. And then figure out
focus on your craft.
And figure out how to either support. Because some of these people who are saying, "Oh, why aren't we saying these guys are not going to pay for those shows? They're not going to pay for the music. They're not going to buy the music, but yet they want to see them on Colors and Spotify." And those things do contribute, because Spotify is going to put what they think is sell. They might not be right, but they're going to put what they feel is sellable, and that's based off data from people who are participating in this industry. I don't think they're going blind, honestly. So it's a lot, man. Listen, it's a lot.
My final take is, as an artist myself, I understand feeling left out, and I understand the pain of feeling excluded. The best advice I've ever seen is, and maybe some people might see this as annoying, but just put your head down and work on yourself and work on your own thing. And actually, I think I'm also just speaking to myself, because sometimes it's like, damn, I wish they would recognize the amount, because that's where a lot of it is also coming from. Like, a lot of this takes is from the man, like, I work so hard, like, we've developed a whole clique of music, we've developed a whole brand, not clique, that's the wrong word. We've developed like a whole genre, like now, like all the Gengeton guys, the whole we've built this thing, like, we just need someone to fuck with us to take it out of here, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But like, sometimes maybe your blessings are even like this bigger stuff than just like even the colors platform. So for me, I look at this stuff and I'm like, you know, I understand the pain of feeling left out and excluded and whatever. Like, I get it. It sucks sometimes. But then you can't let that get in the way of you being happy for other people, one, and two, also for the wider, like, greater good that's happening. And also just be like, you know what, fine. Maybe I need to work harder so that, like, the next time a big industry corporation comes into the thing, we'll see, no, we need to go with that thing that's really hot.
Yeah.
And that will be you, because you actually put your head down and just like decided to. So at the end of the day, it's like, listen, the colors came and it's probably going, but like, it came and it's going, and let's just be happy for what it was, and then work towards building ourselves and building the genres that what am I trying to say? Like,
yes,
do you get what I'm saying?
And I get
so
that
the next time something like this happens, serendipity.
I think one of the reasons maybe some artists themselves will have outrage, because you're looking at it and you're like, oh, maybe this is the only chance that we had, and all the
it's not,
and it's not. Listen, there's especially since a lot of the major labels' eyes are turning towards Africa, like, this is a very good opportunity now to go like 100% on it, you know, and make sure that the next time, work so hard that you make sure that the next time they come, they're not going to be able to ignore you. That's easier said than done, obviously.
And I get that. It's easier said than done, and it's kind of annoying to hear.
It's very annoying to hear. I'm annoyed at myself for saying it.
But it's also how the world works. And another thing is, what we need to do as people is, let's not tear down what other people are doing. If you have another way of going about things, also, like, you know, like, even when you look at like Philo, who we've interviewed in this platform, like, that's somebody who is gonna be a game changer in the industry, and I'm sure he's gonna see things very differently from how the powers that be see things. So when he, like, in a few years, when he's now like in that driving seat, I'm pretty sure as an industry executive, he's gonna like implement things that are more inclusive from his perspective. You know what I mean? So essentially what I'm saying is, it's also down to us to kind of work ourselves into a positions where
we're able to make
can
those
put
decisions.
that in, we can. And I know that's so it sucks
no one wants to hear
hear.
that.
I get it, man.
No one wants to hear
it's so annoying. It's so annoying, but unfortunately, it's also how the world is, and it's like, you know what? Sometimes
it's how the world is. It's how the music industry is.
It's the world. The world is like that. You know what I mean? The world is like that, and bro, you just have to put your head down, work, and then eventually just know that like somebody's gonna watch that, somebody's gonna appreciate that, and somebody's gonna put that on the platform that it deserves to be in. Anyway, all I have to say is, shout out to the guys at Spotify. It can't have been. Can't be easy. Like, even seeing the backlash or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure it sucks, especially when I'm sure at the core of everything, they're just trying to help. You know what I mean? That's the core of it. You're just trying to help, and then seeing all this backlash, it kind of puts a downer on things. But like,
you can't. I mean, we can't always be we can't always be 100% right, but at the same time, we shouldn't always look to the 5% that's always wrong. Like there's so much more. We need to develop nuanced reactions and nuanced opinions about a lot of these things, especially in a growing music scene. Yeah.
And bruh, and may I see, like also, it's also we also need to appreciate both sides of the argument.
Definitely.
And appreciate where people are coming from. You know what I mean? Don't always be like, nah, these guys were super exclusive, whatever. Like fuck them. And also, conversely, you also have to sit down and be like, wait, why are they so angry? Like, why is somebody so? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And think about like why that is as well. So you also have to appreciate
there's hard
sides.
questions that people individually need to answer for themselves. So
anyway, that's us sitting on the fence. Anyway, on to
why did you do that after such a great conversation? There, you just hey, you have to sometimes, honestly, you need, maybe social commentators need to be we are put in a position where we need to be able to see both sides in order to spark conversation, and not everyone is going to like it, but not everyone is going to like everything. Anyway,
and I bet somebody's gonna listen to this podcast out of context and be like, Afam and Sam.
Yeah, they're definitely for. These guys are definitely for the new. And it's just like, it's fine. We are. Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right.
And somebody's gonna clip that.
Exactly.
And be like, yeah, look at them proudly.
You're absolutely right. We are everything you say we are, and more actually. Nothing. Yeah. So moving. I guess away from that, there's something I saw and I wanted to bring up. It happened a while ago. I think it happened in September, but I wanted to bring up. So the past couple of weeks, we've been talking about Spotify and the changes they made that seem to be very detrimental to an artist's mental health and joy. But then I think there's also, as a counter to that, but then as I think there are other platforms that are doing well. They just don't get enough. Like, good news doesn't travel as much as bad news. So that's kind of the case here. The platform Deezer, I think it's a French platform.
Yeah.
I don't know why platform. I don't know why people keep putting the country before the platform. Why do people do that? It's just but anyways, it's a French platform. And they also made changes. It's interesting because they made changes to essentially the problem that Spotify had. They're going through it too, right? All streaming platforms are going to go through that somehow, right? So there's fraudulent activity, and there's maybe an imbalance of earnings and all that business, right? So they decided to go about it by rewarding and awarding musicians more, and Spotify decided they're going to go about it by taking away some of the money, which is interesting. So basically what they've done is I can't. It's a lot, and it can get very technical. So basically, an artist, if you get rewarded on their platform, and I think the changes are already implemented by now, you get rewarded on their platform if, number one, fans actively search out your music. So what they're doing is they're sort of putting the algorithm on the back seat and saying, okay, now if fans, like for example, if I'm an artist and I put out music on Deezer, right? And my music, is on the Deezer platform. If a fan, let's say Afam is my number one fan, and he searches for my music, I didn't hear any.
Oh my God, Sam!
I wish I didn't. I wish I didn't.
Let me search for his favorite song. Fake. Okay, this is me typing. Oh my gosh, I can't wait for this new.
By the way, I'm releasing
Sam
music next month. Just by the way, as we joke about it. So let's.
And
it's definitely going to be on Deezer. So if an artist searches, like if Afam searches for my music, the fact that he actively searched for my music, I get double the streams, which is crazy. And then they've done that with so many different ways where it's not necessarily the algorithm that determines how much an artist, because on Spotify, if the algorithm is the one that pushes you in front of people's faces, and then you get more money based on that. But on Deezer, it's almost the other way around, where if I search for your music, then you get, of course, they actively give you more money. And then there's also other initiatives and incentives for artist led. So really, their model is more of an artist building a model. Artist-centric, even though Spotify says theirs is artist-centric, but they ended up taking away money from artists, which is great. And the other thing they did, again, then I'll mention this. So Spotify decided that they are going to up the playtime of noise and ambient tracks and all that business because so that they can essentially earn less because I guess it's overpopulated. What Deezer have done is they've decided, okay, you know what we're going to do? We're going to get rid of all of that, right? Because essentially, I don't know how much creativity goes into white noise, but there should be some. So I guess that
not much, but that's
so
that's
I guess
why
there's some artists who will be like, oh
man.
no, I've recorded the forest myself. But then what Deezer is doing is, okay, so all the white noise and all that genre of music is going to be done by us, and we're not going to monetize it. And then we're going to get rid of all of that on the platform because, again, that's another tool that people are using to be very fraudulent. So I just bring this up to say it's interesting how we have the same problem, and Deezer seem to have gone about it in a way, they've approached it in a way that benefits the artist more. I don't know. The industry is weird, man. Industry is very weird.
It is. Speaking of the industry being weird, we've all seen the reports from
Brother Love,
from Diddy. I don't even call him Brother Love, man. And Cassie. Obviously, Cassie filed a lawsuit against him.
I don't like that song actually.
Don't sing his song, bro. This is an anti-Diddy podcast.
Oh no, that was a Cassie song.
Oh shit. Okay, bro. I was so in my anti-Diddy mode.
Sorry,
anyway,
get your hate off.
We're just kind of I'm not even getting my shit. This is just a passing thing because obviously it's already been settled. But we know he did that shit. All I'm saying is, bruh, this music industry has a lot of weird stuff that goes on, and hopefully a lot of it will be cracked down on. And I know Cassie has already settled. Me personally, like, bruh, $30 million is a lot of money. I wouldn't go as far as saying, oh, she was only in it for the money, blah, 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 blah. That's life-changing money or whatever. And as though we might not hear from Cassie in this capacity again,
you're sure
I'm pretty sure they probably
that has happened a lot of times.
NDAs. Yeah, I'm sure they signed NDAs and whatever's. We might not hear Cassie outspoken about what happened with her and Diddy, but we know it happened. And we thank her for actually being brave enough for putting this in the public domain. Diddy is a very powerful human being. Trust me when I say, and especially in the music industry, going against somebody like Diddy is one of those very like wild sport. It's a scary sport.
True.
And that's why a lot of people look shook to actually
talk about
bring to light a lot of the things he's done,
which is sad. In all honesty, I feel like that's a very sad thing because that's what people use to perpetrate such nonsense behind closed doors.
Of course, and bro, money. Listen, he paid himself a way out of this thing, but not really because this opens up the Pandora's box, and hopefully more people can speak out about Diddy and like artists that he screwed over, etc. Yeah. Anyway, I say that to say
Afam doesn't like Diddy much.
He probably did that shit. No. That guy is evil, bro. I hear all these stories and I'm like, bro, I would like if that happened to me. If I was in these situations, I hear some of these artists are in, I'd be like so traumatized. Anyway, new music,
Price
Sam.
Of fame.
What were we listening to?
Leo nakwama
naye. I mean, that's the first thing we have to say, bro.
Yeah, I mean, Bien dropped.
Did he find his shirt?
Sorry?
Did he find his top?
Are we doing that?
Did he find it?
Are we doing that, Afam? Are we really doing that?
Did he? Did he though? When you finished listening to the album, were you like, you know what? I know where his shirt was, and I know, why he was topless.
His shirt was in track 6. No, Bien dropped his highly anticipated. Of course, Bien is a Kenyan music darling. So and I like that he dropped it right.
His second song is Lost and Found, so that's when the shirt got lost. And then he was like, you know what? I'm topless now. Fuck it. We're just gonna have sex and have marijuana. And then after that, obviously you're cuddling, whatever. That's when you release My Baby because now you're just chilling together. And then Chikwere, I don't know. Then Masheri.
I knew now this is get stuck at Chikwere. I knew you're going to get stuck.
Oh yeah. So I'm skipping that quickly. Then Masheri is now after that. You know, you're still topless. It's the day afterwards, and you're like, bruh, I love this girl. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
mean? And then I Want You is just like a realization that,
true love.
bruh, this girl is amazing. And then it's true love, and you decide to stay.
Please.
And then now you start to think, who is this girl really? Are you an A student, by the way?
Or a
Like,
B
let me find
student.
more about, are you a B or a C student? And you know what I mean? And then after that, you take some time to yourself. And that's when you have time alone and you find the t-shirt. So I think the t-shirt was found in
Afam,
track
you're crazy,
12.
was it? You're
Like-
just you're. This is just ridiculous.
So
I
he
can't believe
found
I'm
the
listening
shirt
to
in
this.
no, listen, he finds the shirt in track 12,
Yeah.
Time Alone, when he's no actually no, I take that back. He finds the shirt in Lifestyle. In Time Alone is just time when he was
Reflecting
reflecting
and really
and
thinking
he had
about where-
he had that like
Why on
exactly
earth?
and then he had that light bulb moment. And then now track 14, Too Easy is like too easy, you know what I mean? This was too easy at the end of the day. Like I found it, like it was.
Wait, why are you
it was
insinuating that
just
he
over
lost
there.
his shirt? We're asking why he's topless, not where did he put his shirt.
My whole thing breaks down when you ask that question, Sam. Anyway,
Oh my goodness.
that is a
good.
highly detailed, highly intelligent, highly
Yeah,
intellectual
by the one and
breakdown
only.
by
The
the
one and
30% pod boys.
The one and only. You might have to put
Actually,
that one on
that's
yourself.
exactly.
You might have to put
That's
that one on yourself.
exactly. Sam, that's exactly his thought
Right?
process.
Exactly.
behind this
Yeah,
album.
we definitely see it.
No doubt.
My goodness.
Good album. Good album. Shout out to Sammy Soso.
Yeah, Sammy Soso
bro
produced-
killed it, man.
Sammy Soso seems to be on a run. He produced Water by
Adding to
Tyler.
the list of Sam's adversaries.
Yeah.
Sorry, excuse me.
I'm not fighting with anyone called Sam. Don't start that narrative here, man, because people will run with that. No. All right, you know what? I'm just going to ignore you and step away.
Who's gonna be the Sam that prevails? There's three of them in the conversation now.
Which Sam is on top? Definitely Sammy Soso is on top.
I
on
would
this one.
pay. I would pay
Even
to
though
watch
the other
that.
Sam was featured on the album, but let's leave it there. Don't start that narrative. That's not a thing. You're making me now. I'm here playing into it like, oh yeah. Like no, we're all friends. So anyway, the album was pretty good. I really enjoyed some of the songs. I enjoyed a lot of them. I do think a lot of them sounded very similar. I think it's when you lock in with a producer, like one producer for a majority of the album.
It's bound to happen.
Yeah, there's definitely that. But then I like it, man. I really like the album. A lot of people liked it. I saw
Same.
he was outside.
And y'all know I don't listen to Sauti Soul
Yeah.
like that or
Yeah.
Soul Gen. So yeah.
Yeah, so that was fire. Shout out to Bien.
Shout out to Bien. Aime, Baraza,
yes.
Alusa.
Alusa. I still don't know. Is that his actual name? Oh, I feel like that's just a
I
statement.
think so.
But I said this last week. I think that's such a fire name for an album. Like Alusa, why are you talking?
is actually.
Like, and it sounds
It's
like
like,
something
why?
that comes from Bien. It's just if you've
Yeah, and it's
interacted
quite-
with him, that's
because
him.
because it makes you ask the question like, why would you go with this as an album? And like, actually, why are you topless? Like,
Yeah.
it makes you question a lot. So it already draws you in. So it's
Fire, yeah. And the album art was also good. So shout out to him, man.
Man,
and
a
his
bald
team.
man. Man, a bald man. He did that.
Man, a bald man. Speaking of colors, Maya Molo, I guess it was on streaming, a
Yeah.
song Where You Been. So that's that. You can go check that out. What
Yeah,
did
shout
I
out
listen
to Sambugwa and Lucorito for
Yeah.
producing that.
Yeah. Rumbi is again continued. He's still releasing music and he's collaborating with everyone. This time it's with Nawe Kulo, Penzi Wangu, so that's fire. Okelo Max and Kala Moto released a track called Manipulate. Did you hear it?
Yes, I did.
Okay. What do you think? Was it?
I thought it was good. I liked it.
Yeah. And then what else, man? Boutros Arif Shizo update status. That was fire. That I enjoy listening to Boutros just because he's very comical. He always,
Boutros
does
is
very
a
light-hearted music.
character.
Yeah, what else, man? What else? Frederick Muller and
there
Umoja
was-
Sounds. Sorry, and then you go.
Yes.
Frederick Muller and Umoja Sounds released Nairobi Fly. I really like Frederick Muller and what he's doing. I like TZ rap. He's from TZ, but I think he's
Mhm. I also
he's
fuck
here.
with TZ
Yes.
Native Records. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Wengi by King Kirby. Bro, Kirby is on a run. In terms of these videos, bro, Trust me, man. Kirby is doing some crazy stuff. Actually, I forgot to mention this at the beginning of the pod. One of the things I did during the week was Kirby invited me to the illustrious Snowball.
Is a place
Snowball
very
Industries.
Why do you throw illustrious? Don't just throw illustrious around like that.
I don't.
Was it very illustrious?
I like using adjectives. Anyway, I don't. I think that's the wrong adjective to use. But like, yeah. Anyway, invited me to Snowball to listen to like some of the music, and bruh, I can also say I had the privilege of seeing like one of the videos. I'm not gonna say which one, but it's coming soon, and this isn't promo, but like bro is actually like creating like high quality content.
Yeah.
Like the level of
Very useful
videos
to
that
artists.
Kirby is doing is what you would expect from a Sauti Soul or a Nyashinsky quality wise. So that's something to watch. And shout out to Kirby, man. Like I'm pretty sure this takes a lot of like just great determination and energy to push out. So there was that. There was Now by Louis K.E. that came out. Kejani by Sosa the Prodigy. This is the first time I'm hearing of him, but I really think that's a fire song. Alone by Truth 254 and Homeboy Carter came out. Chongo by Idaziz and Martin Taylor. Idaziz is on his shit. You already know this year is Idaziz year. Although Sofian Zhao has also put her claim into that like whole conversation.
Yeah.
But two goats can coexist. Speaking of which, shout out to Drake and J. Cole. Anyway, Last Scene by 8th Street Gang, Fire, Drill Stuff. Wait by Boy Lee came out. Test My Patience by Caleb Awiti, some Amapiano vibes. Pretty much what you expect from Caleb. And then December by Iani, which I never thought I would be saying this, but what a fire song. And the only reason I'm saying that is because like Iani has kind of like really stuck to that furaha, like
crowd vocals.
What's the word?
Crowd.
No, yeah.
Fun.
What's
party,
the word?
Friday night music. That's what
that's just like formula. Formula of music. And listen, I actually really enjoyed December by Iani. So shout out to him for that. But I would like to say, Sam, that for the first time this in our podcast history, I would like to play an artist twice in a row.
Clap it up.
Oh my god, yeah, bro. Listen, for that to happen, trust me, a lot of things a lot of conversations behind the scenes have been had. Because usually we don't like to do that. We like to be
give as much what do you call it?
Yeah.
As much light to as many people as possible. So
yes. But definitely check out the other songs we've mentioned for sure.
And put us on to new ones that we've not mentioned actually. Please.
Exactly. But Sam. Leo nakwama nayo. Leo
How about you just play the song and let him sing it?
Leo nakwama nayo.
Okay. We're going to listen to the acapella. The acapella from Afam.
Anyway, guys, this is Kwama by BN off of his highly anticipated and amazing album.
Yeah.
Alusa, Why Art Thou Topless?
I ain't got no time, so I'm enjoying today. So much to celebrate and more blessings on the way.
Don't fight the feeling. When you find the one you love, don't fight it, feel it. When you find something you love, when you find something you love, when you find something you love, I
ain't got no time, so I'm enjoying today. So much to celebrate and more blessings on the way. And they don't kill my vibe. I found my peaceful place. This moment is divine.
Don't fight the feeling. When you find the one you love, don't fight it, feel it. When you find something you love, when you find something you love, when you find something you love, no one knows tomorrow. When it's your turn, you just don't know. In my bag, I can't go wrong. Lead up, never follow. I'm not scared to fly alone. I'm finding my own way home. Don't fight the feeling. When you find the one you love, don't fight it, feel it. When you find something you love, when you find something you love, when you find something you love,
I ain't got no time, so I'm enjoying today. So much to celebrate and more blessings on the way. And they don't kill my vibe. I found my peaceful place. This moment is divine.
Yo, so that was Kwama by Bien Aima Baraza Alusa. Right? Yeah, I got that right. And that was off of his album Alusa, Why Are You Topless, which you can listen to on all the streaming platforms. And if you can, listen to it on Deezer, because I guess he's gonna make more money off of that.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Go support your artists
Exactly.
where they'll make the most money.
Please. So anyway, guys, that was episode 52. What a journey that was, Sam. I feel like we've gone through a whole
think it's a-
year of a podcast, because 52 weeks. Yeah. Anyway, guys,
Oh man, this guy.
if I was any more corny, my second name would be Maze. Anyway,
Thank you for listening to the podcast. We appreciate each and every one of you. Again, please follow us on
all our socials.
Yes, and again, recommend this podcast to whoever
Yes,
you think
definitely
would
do that.
benefit from the conversation, or whoever you think would like it.
Actually, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make business cards, and all of you guys must purchase them and send them. You know what? This is like
Afam.
no, never. I was gonna say I understand.
Afam,
I understand
Afam.
why religion.
Whenever you tell anyone to buy, you understand why? Yes, let's go. You understand why religion? What are you talking about? Yeah, you want to get controversial. Another 1 hour of this.
No. Let's skate over that. I was about to say something out
there
of
you go.
pocket.
Yeah. Edit yourself,
Yeah.
sir. Edit yourself. So yes, please share. Again, we're trying to bring awareness to the Kenyan industry and the things that happen behind the scenes that we don't necessarily see.
Yes.
So have those conversations, and I think it's just going to benefit the industry and artists and consumers as a whole.
Exactly. Especially from the perspective of two people who are very much entrenched in the music industry, especially Sam. Sam is so industry, you guys. If you guys just knew, like, why are you looking at
We're not doing this. We're not going to start going over who is more industry between me
It's
and
a good
you.
narrative.
You went to
It's a
go
good
see
narrative to have.
unplayed music by artists. Sorry, not unplayed, unreleased music by
Released.
artists, and you're calling me industry. Me, I was here making beats. So
Yeah,
One of us
making
is-
beats for. Do you want to go into
right,
conversation
listen.
as to who
Listen,
you're making these beats
let's-
for?
let-
Huh? You're making these beats for an A&R. You're not even making these beats for an artist. It's for an A&R. That's how you know your industry.
thank you for listening, guys. We'll catch you in episode 52. You got me there.
53.
53. Oh my
Not
god.
52.
Episode 53. Look at me skating quickly around that and failing.
Goodbye.
Bye.